Murder House has been out on PS5 since October of 2021. The game is by Puppet Combo, a one-person studio specializing in highly stylized horror games in a PlayStation 1 CRT TV VHS aesthetic. This game could have played terribly, and I wouldn't care. This game absolutely drips with atmosphere and aesthetic, and I was sold from the minute I saw screenshots. Welcome to Internet and Beer. Today I'm taking you on an overview of this gorgeous, creepy 3-hour game. Murder House plays a lot like Clock Tower or Resident Evil from the PlayStation 1. You play as Emma, an intern at the low-budget Channel 9 local news station, on an assignment with your team to do some sensationalist reporting at the house of the Easter Bunny murders many years ago. Refreshing for me in a horror game, you're not alone in the house. With you is Dana, the reporter, who's quite good at her job and wants to do quality news reporting, but goes along with this because it pays her bills. Tom, the level-headed cameraman, who sympathizes with us about the place being spooky and suspicious. Gary, the chain-smoking GM, who knows the story is crap but leans into the cheese because it gets views for the station. And there is also supposed to be a real estate agent here to let us in, but though their car is here, they are missing. Cue immediate suspicion. All of the characters are voice acted, even better than Resident Evil, who had a real budget.
Jill sandwich.
And I really respected that move on such a small project. It shows a clear artistic direction and commitment to the craft. Before continuing with Emma, let's take a step back and check out the prologue. In the prologue, you are Justin, a little boy in a yellow shirt looking for a way out of a closed mall that you've woken up in. The prologue is a decent tutorial, teaching you how to pick up and use items, activate your flashlight, and hide. I was a little slow finding my way out of a maze-like room that the killer was stalking me through, though, so I got slashed to death pretty quickly in the prologue. But it did not result in a game over. That death just became canon in my playthrough, and we jumped back forward in time to Emma. Emma's first task is lugging some equipment inside the house. Then, of course, it turns out the power is off, so I have to go find and install a fuse. I metagamed a little bit here and realized we were still in the, quote, safe part before the killings would begin, so I took a little time here familiarizing myself with the layout of the house. I have a huge compliment to the game here just for attention to the architecture. This house is spatially consistent. Not only are the rooms appropriate size and layout, but there are not a bunch of extra large illogical rooms a normal house wouldn't have, like a room that's a giant chessboard, or an unnecessary trophy room just to pack in some scary taxidermy to the game. Looking at you, Resident Evil. No, there's just a hall, a big living room, a kitchen with stairs down to the basement, there's a small drawing room, then on the second floor you have bedrooms and a bathroom. It all makes sense from the outside too. The size of the house on the inside matches the outside. I know this may seem like a small detail, but it's so rare for a video game house to actually make sense as a place that people lived in that I really appreciated the effort taken. So, Emma finds the fuse in a drawer on the second floor and installed it in the basement. Time to do a little reporting.
Anthony Smith, more commonly known as the Easter Ripper. The mere mention of his name sends shivers up the spines of parents across the country. His horrible murder spree leaving lives shattered and families ripped apart. Tonight we'll go inside his vacant home, where 11 innocent children spent their final moments in agonizing pain and terror. Untouched since those horrible crimes 8 years ago, some say his spirit still haunts the home till this day.
Dana goes to fix her makeup, and we are free to explore again. Meanwhile, Gary's having a dart in the kitchen, and Tom is exploring the house too. Well, the only place we haven't checked yet is the basement. Dana, are you good? We find a dirty old mug, fill it with water, and help out Dana. Now everyone is ready to film another segment. This time, Gary wants me to scare the audience by running through at the right moment, and the awkward tank controls made this unintentionally hilarious as I struggled to run through. Now on another break, they send me for pizza, but everything is kind of a red now, so I go and save my game. Step outside to the car and... oh. I come back inside to deliver not pizza, but instead the bad news. Dana says forget the pizza. Gary is still mad the real estate agent stood us up, and Tom is... Where's Tom? Gary puts me on camera, asking me to hold it steady, and I make sure to do my absolute best.
Someone has wrecked our van and we can't get our fucking pizza lunch promised by my
From here on out,
producer.
this game is incredibly linear. I didn't hate this, because not everything can or should be a huge open-world choose-your-own-adventure game. Have you ever played a really great escape room? Every object you get in an escape room is one of two things, either a key or a lock. It's either a problem to solve or part of the solution. Good escape rooms will have many different things for you to be working on all at once so that multiple different people can enjoy it together. Contrast that with a simpler room where you really only have one lock available to you at a time. This has the effect that as soon as you find any sort of key, you know exactly where that key goes to and takes out some of the magic. This describes Murder House. We find Tom in the basement. Tom has a big iron key. Big iron key very obviously goes to attic door, which we noted has a big iron lock. In the attic, we find a letter opener. Great, we're going to use this for jimmying locks. Back downstairs to try some of the locks from earlier, and... Oh my. I guess the murderer is still around, and I guess it's not Dana. Anyway, after the coast is clear, Dana had the death egg in her mouth, which is part of our way out of here. And, oh yeah, we have a gun now. In the basement, we use our letter opener to get a magnet. Great. The magnet obviously goes to retrieve the out-of-reach metal object in the floor hole. Another door key? Awesome. Quick aside, the stamina bar in this game was almost pointless. They even bothered explaining it in lore. Emma had sprained her ankle or something at a track meet and couldn't run a lot all at once, but mechanically this had no effect. The house was so cramped and the killer encounters were infrequent enough that there may as well not have been a stamina bar. In the next room, we find a note from an abducted child hinting that the children were being observed and that they hear adults making certain noises from behind the walls at night. This game just got a lot darker. Oh good, Gary's here. Anyway, next key to next lock. This room had a black light bulb that clearly goes in the attic's prominent light bulb socket. This gives us the dumbwaiter, which takes us to the child prison. Apparently this place was never found when the police investigated years ago, since the skeletons are still here. Several of them are still bound in unfortunate positions, and the toddler description says it looks like it had starved to death. Man, this is a lot more messed up than just a slasher. Here we pick up a rope and a tape for the TV, both of which we will use in the same room. But first we nab another death egg from Gary's now very decorated body. The tape gives a hint on where we can find a death egg, and the rope opens the bathroom, where we find death egg 3 on the body of the real estate agent. Well, guess Tom is the one doing us dirty. I play a little song on the piano that I had learned from a child's note to get the 4th egg, then stick them all in the basket to open the door to the greenhouse. This is the only point in the game that combat is required. Here we're given a shotgun, and Bunny Tom tries to end things for us, but our pistol actually gets us there. I mean, you never know if there's a secret Phase 2 boss that wants the good bullets, right? Gotta conserve. After wandering around lost for a bit trying to get out, Tom gets up and has a last gasp, but right then, a host of zombie children rise up to take him out. This actually includes little yellow shirt Justin from the Prologue. I thought that was a nice touch. Credits. I love how they credited each individual .wave sound maker. Thanks for making metal being dropped on concrete surface, Fart Biscuit 1700. There is a weird meta post-credit sequence revealing that this entire thing was just a movie. I didn't really need this edition since the game felt pretty complete without this. It feels like they cheapen it a little bit more too when I get in my car to leave at the end, and surprise, the killer is real again, and it's in my backseat. I just don't think, personally, that we needed to twist 4 times between is the killer still real or not. Aside from that, this game is absolutely lovely. Every single moment is full of love and respect for the medium, and it really felt like a true-to-life PlayStation 1 game in 2022, from the controls to the graphics to the voice acting. The only thing that remained for me was to go back and do a little better at the prologue. With help from a guide, I made it to where I used the screwdriver, found the code to a door lock, and experienced a weird short Jacksepticeye cameo before still getting killed anyway, but getting the proper prologue ending. If you made it through, thank you so very much for watching. I'm over on Twitch a couple times a week, and I would love to have you over there. Plus, any likes or comments here help me out a great deal. Until next time.
I would hate to have to edit this piece of shit.